Welcome to Common Fitting Adjustments for the Carpe Diem dress. We are going to take a minute to look at the sleeveless armhole and a couple of different adjustments you can do if it's not fitting you exactly right. This armhole on the mock-up that I have here fits pretty well, and actually you can see how interesting it is when you make your mock-up in two different fabrics. It makes it really easy for you to see how the seams are lining up and if they're lining up properly. And we've already taken a little bit out of the bust line, and there's a video in the bust area section of the common fitting adjustments where I show you how to reduce the length, the bust length of this garment. But right now we're going to look at the sleeveless armhole. And of course, in a sleeveless armhole, you really want a nice fit. You don't want any gaping. You don't want anybody to be able to look down under your arm and see what's going on inside. And so sometimes you do need to size up the garment a little bit. It helps you to have a better look. So, and I would say that this one is a little bit loose. We have just a little extra here. Unless you like a really loose fit, that would be a little bit more in there in the armhole that you would want. And you might want to actually take a little dart here. I'm going to borrow some pins from my bust here to pin this in. Take a little dart out, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a lot, into the moving into the waist area, so that you get a snugger fit right here in the armhole, and it doesn't feel like you're exposing your underwear, or that everything is fitting pretty well. We would see this particularly in someone who's maybe a little pear-shaped. They might need more room down here in the bottom, and they need a little bit out right up here. You can put a dart in there, and you can leave it there as a dart, just as a dart, or you can put this dart in here and then open this up, swing it out, so you have a little bit more room in the hips. So if you had this situation, our friend Marie did, and she is featured in a blog post where I've written a little bit about the common fitting adjustments and making a mock-up just like this. You have, she benefited from taking this little dart out and then slitting this open and letting it be a little bit more expanded there in the side panel. So we'll look at that pattern work, and I hope that you will enjoy it. And if you do find that you have just a little too much extra in that armhole, this might be the way to solve the problem. We're going to look at a little different way to take in that underarm in case you have a little too much excess in the underarm, and perhaps you can even use this if you have a wearable mock-up done and you still feel like there's a little too much in the underarm and you've pinned some out, and you can actually pin it out, as you saw on the mock-up in the intro, into a little dart that comes right here along the center of the underarm. So the dart that we pinned out was about 3/8 of an inch on each side, and so we're going to mark that here on our pattern. Whatever you needed, you would mark, and we will measure down, and we saw that that dart itself was about 4 inches long to ease it into the place where you didn't need that extra taken out anymore. So I'm literally going to just draw a dart here, starting at that 4-inch line that I had that we have pinned out, and coming up like this into the side of the top, into the armhole, that sleeveless armhole that we need to bring in. And you can see what happens when we take that dart out. We have made that nice and much smaller. It's basically going down perhaps one size, doing the same thing that if you had gone east into a different size spacing from the one you had chosen, you would have what you needed. Now, we can't, however, do that because that we can't take it out completely, because that gives us this big bubble here in our pattern, and we're always trying to keep our patterns flat. So you can make two different choices. You can choose to just have a dart in that part of the body, and that is not a bad choice. It will shape the garment to your body, and that will feel good. The other choice, if you needed a little extra room in the hips, perhaps, is we could slash to here and slash to here, and then close it and spread the other side. And so I'm going to actually cut that so you can see we're fortunately working right along the grain line, so we have that nice blue line to guide us as we cut. And we're going to cut here, and you will be able to see that as you fold out the dart at the top, like this, so you're folding out that dart so it's completely closing up, the two legs are crossing over themselves and connecting, then that gives you a huge amount of extra room. This would be even a great thing to do if you wanted sort of a real swingy side, or if your hip to top ratio was such that this would be beneficial to you. You could put a piece of paper underneath here, tape it into place, and have that adjustment made for you. So two different choices. Our friend Marie did this at our retreat when she was testing the pattern for us, and she has a very we would call triangular shaped body, and it worked really well for her. She was very pleased to make the adjustment. Now, when you make this adjustment, of course, you have the ramification of needing to also make the adjustment on the facing, and I have cut the facing here to show what it looks like. We often, when we have a facing, even if we have a dart, if we were just going to use this as a dart, we would want to fold that dart out of the facing, eliminate it from the facing. We do this in the glamour detail whenever we're making a facing for the top of a pair of pants, which is also curvy and has darts in it. This is the method that we use. So I'm drawing the dart from underneath onto the facing, as you see, and now we're going to take the pattern piece away. And whether you are doing the two-part side adjustment or not, we're going to cut this out, and then we're going to close up that dart so that we have a smooth facing in the underarm, whether we've used a dart or we have folded out and spread the bottom of the pattern. Either way, this works. And you see how important it is when you're doing these pieces to have trimmed your facing. Most of the time I remembered to do that before I got this far in the video, but I had not this time. So you get to watch me cut with my paper scissors, cutting my facing out. And then we will alter it so that it fits the dart that we have added in the underarm for a closer fit. We're going to just slice right there along that grain line, the center of the dart, and then we're literally going to line up the two dart lines, and then we will have now an adjusted facing that will make this facing fit you better, as we saw when we made the adjustment on the mock-up. So adjust your top with either just a single dart that you will make whenever you construct the garment so that the underarm fits you better. And then you'll see that when you close that up and you lay the facing on here, it will match up just perfectly, and that would be the underarm curve that you need. So taking in under the arm for a better fit in a sleeveless garment and a sleeveless Carpe Diem. Have fun. Thank you for watching this Carpe Diem common fitting adjustment video about snugging up your underarm in this sleeveless panel that is a little bit more like a princess dress panel, and so you do have to be careful about how it fits there in the underarm. You want to have a really beautiful fit We have a beautiful fit right here in this one with the little cap sleeve, which is added to that sleeveless arm if you want a little bit of sleeve. It's just another version of the same thing. So try this out if you are having trouble with a little too much gaping in that sleeveless underarm, and it might well solve the problem. Or I'm going to show you in the next video how to shift sizes in that sleeveless side panel in order to get also an improved fit. Good luck with your pattern work. I hope it gives you a much more nuanced and well-fitting Carpe Diem, and you'll make many.